You already knew about Tony Gwynn and Matt Williams. A sore foot made Frank Thomas a late scratch. And Ironman Cal Ripken, who's gone 2,239 straight games without a broken bone, had his nose inadvertently broken by an elbow from Roberto Hernandez during the team picture. But he did make the starting lineup and watched as his teammates got their noses bloodied. Let's start early. There's Roberto on the top right. There's Cal, and ouch. Thanks, pal. Bottom of the second, Mike Piazza at the plate facing Charles Nagy. A fastball and then a faster ball in the other direction. How about an upper deck shot from Mike Piazza, and the National League was up 2-love. Same inning, Henry time. Henry Rodriguez gets Nagy with this sharply hit ball to right. Chipper Jones comes around and scores, and the NL was on top 3-love. AL had trouble with their pitching, especially Albert Bell facing John Smoltz, and he missed it. And then Tom Glavine, also a Brave, and he missed it. Pedro Martinez, cheese, see ya, Kodak moment. Thanks, Al. Meanwhile, hometown boy Piazza still looking good. How about a double up the gap in right center? Barry Larkin scores, and it's 4-0 NL. Yes, he's looking big time. Bottom of the sixth. NL West strong tonight. That's Ken Caminiti. Oh, my. He takes Roger Pavlik's offering out the yard. And the senior circuit's on top, 5-0. The Wizard of Oz got the biggest standing ovation of anyone tonight, and he can still get the double play going. Here it goes, 6-4-3. I gotcha. Joe Tex, give me 5. And then we go to the ninth inning. Al Leiter in to close things out, facing Dan Wilson. And he'll send the high fly ball to right field. Gary Sheffield will put the squeeze on this Midsummer Classic. And how about the National League? And how about Mike Piazza? 2 for 3 tonight, a couple of ribbies, and he was the MVP. Albert Bell, 0 for 4. You saw his 3 strikeouts. He was booed at every at-bat. The shutout was the first since 1990 when the American League won 2-0 at Wrigley Field. And after losing 6 straight, the National League has now won 3 in a row.
That wasn't a typical night for those American League hitters. Believe me, those guys can bomb the ball out of any ballpark, and you know, we just made some exceptional pitches.
Tonight, the balls that they hit and hit hard were pitches that were elevated. Their pitchers kept the ball down. When we did hit the ball hard, it was at somebody.
You know, everybody that went in today did a tremendous job and held the lead, and you know, for me, I couldn't have been any more perfect.
Well, our own Alan Massengill had a front row seat at tonight's game, and he's on the scene at the Vet now, and he's standing by with the game's MVP. Alan.
What a storybook night for this young man, Mike Piazza, who grew up not far from this very stadium, and now he is the MVP of the All-Star game. Unbelievable, huh, Mike?
Oh, without a doubt. I'm running out of words. I don't really know what to say. I'm depleted. I really, just to be here in front of friends and family and is one thing, and hit a home run, just, you know, again, I don't know what to say.
I know what you can talk about. Talk about that home run in the second inning off a pretty good pitcher. Mr. Nagy served it up pretty well. Just describe the whole thing.
He has some good stuff, and I was just fortunate. I didn't try to do too much for that ball, just put a decent swing on it. He has some nasty stuff, and, you know, I was lucky I laid off some very tough pitches and got a pitch I can drive. Describe the moment before the game when the first ball was tossed out by Mike Schmidt, your hero. Again, just total elation, and just, you know, I really haven't felt my feet hit the ground at all night, and to you know, catch the ball from him, and he came up to me and he goes, I think you're a great player, and I'm following your career and wish you the best of luck, and just very flabbergasted. I mean, for him to say that, I grew up watching him. I said, you know, I one day want to be like Mike Schmidt, trying to emulate him and watching his habits, and he's a Hall of Famer. He was the best there ever was at that position, and it was just an honor. Did you know tonight that no player had ever had 3 extra base hits in an All-Star game when you went up there for the 3rd time? Yeah, but I didn't know that, not at all. I looked in the book when I came in out. The guy, he threw me like some tough pitches. I mean, just a hard fastball in, a hard fastball away, and I was like, oh, great, I'm 0-2, and I fought off some tough pitches, but he made a quality pitch, and then that guy's pretty nasty. You can see why he's having a great year. Where do you put this in your career so far, this feeling tonight? Well, it's close to the top, without a doubt. I mean, but again, for me, I would just love to get in a World Series, and you'd see all these people again and all this media and stuff, and for me, that would be just icing on the cake. I mean, I'm really happy to be here, and it's an honor, but to get into a World Series and win one in LA for me would be a great honor.
Mike Piazza's always been a great friend of the press box. We appreciate your time tonight. Congratulations.
All right, man. Thanks, Al.
All right. All right. If you want more Mike Piazza, later on in the show, we have a special feature coming up from Rick Weinberg, so don't go away. Right now, let's go back to the press box.
Thanks, Alan. Time to talk basketball. Much like the Grinch that stole Christmas, labor strife has threatened to block one of the most anticipated free agent signing periods in NBA history. Today, for a brief moment, the Grinch did steal Christmas as the NBA locked the players out, but just like the Dr. Seuss classic, in the end, cooler heads prevailed. Larry Burnett has the story.
What was supposed to be a free agent payday bonanza turned out to be practice as usual this morning for Team USA. Smiles all around, despite the fact that the Dream Team's premier free agents had to put their multi-million-dollar dreams on hold once again.
I have a question. What is a moratorium?
It's kind of a waiting period.
Oh, okay. Oh, new word. I got to write that down. Moratorium.
It's something that's unfortunate because I think you know, the media as well as the players around the league were ready to get things started and get things off on the right foot. But you know, we can wait a couple of days and hopefully they can get the differences ironed out.
Well, the moratorium of this whole thing, like that, the moratorium of this whole thing has been very, very hectic.
So we had quite a morning here in Phoenix. First a lockout, then no lockout, and now a moratorium until Thursday. But the big question is, will all of these distractions have a negative effect on Team USA and its bid for Olympic gold in Atlanta?
Well, I think the best thing to do is to address it. I address it with the players and just tell them to go, hey, let's just keep our focus on what we're doing. Everything else will take care of itself. You know, guys who are free agents, their representatives will take care of them. The rest of us, let's see what happens.
From the players' side, the quest for personal gold is definitely taking a backseat to the team's quest for Olympic gold.
Right now, we're playing for the United States. We're not playing for Indiana, Seattle, Utah, Phoenix. You're playing for your country now, and I think right now that takes precedent.
People think once you become famous and successful, they think you don't appreciate the Olympics and things like that. And I think every person growing up has watched the Olympics, and it's a big deal.
Players, agents, GMs, and fans alike all get to hold their breaths now until the moratorium is lifted on Thursday, when Team USA is in Salt Lake City preparing for Friday night's exhibition with Australia. I'm Larry Burnett in Phoenix for Press Box.
Thanks, Larry. John Stockton is the fourth Dream Teamer who is an unrestricted free agent, but don't expect him to go anywhere. USA Basketball told the press box tonight that the Dream Team is a separate entity from the NBA, and in case of a lockout, the players would not be violating any guidelines by playing at the Olympics. And these guys are still licking their chops, waiting for the free agent money to flow. Juwan Howard is the prize catch here. Remember, the moratorium, Shaq's new favorite word, is now scheduled to end Thursday afternoon.
And from Hoop Dreams to the Field of Dreams, well, there's no moratorium on All-Star stuff. We'll have much more from the All-Star game in Philadelphia a little later.
How many times can we work moratorium in there? Still ahead on the press box, more baseball, including the Giants. They've traded Mark Carrion.
Also, we'll show you why the special of the day, usually Piazza when Big Mike is around. Closer look at the NL's top hitter later. And we'll have news from the NFL. Is Big Eric Green on the same page with Big Jimmy? A big fishtail when we return.
Press Box is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, celebrating 25 years of love from Southwest to you. And by the Southern California Ford dealers, home of 5 of the 10 best-selling vehicles in America.
It's been 25 years of love. From Southwest to you, just listen to the sound of those 737s above. You're hearing 25 years of love, and it's been 25 years of love. The kind of love that's true. 25 years of love from Southwest to you.
If you could
buy the best-selling small car in America for the last 10 years, you'd buy it. That's what the Ford dealers did. Now they have too many 96 Escorts, and they need to sell them all. And that means up to $1,500 cash back, or as low as 3.9 APR for 4 years. Are they making a mistake? Sure. But what do you care? You're getting a new 96 Escort with up to $1,500 cash back or 3.9. Too many Escorts. Too little time. Too little.
Welcome to Jubilee at Bally's. What do you think of the best showgirls in Vegas?
It's amazing. I mean, what a sight.
I understand they sink the Titanic.
You should see it.
You won't believe your eyes.
Were you aware the average person's attention span's about 12 minutes?
I only see a show at Bally's.
Woo! Check out these showgirls.
Once a look. You know, buddy, there's a booth over there if you want it.
You can sit with us.
Oh, the grand finale.
With all the cast and crew.
Yeah! Woo! Bravo! From Bally's.
Rats, river rats that is, and they're coming to the Forum to face off against the LA Blades. Catch all the action as the Blades battle Sacramento Saturday at 7:30 on Prime Sports.
Wham Bam, he's gone. Today, the Steelers released running back Byron Bam Morris, who pleaded guilty to felony drug charges last month in Rockwall County, Texas. Morris, the Steelers' third-round pick in the 1994 draft, was stopped and arrested by police in Rockwall County on March 26th when a search of his Mercedes-Benz turned up, lo and behold, 1.5 grams of cocaine and 6 pounds of marijuana. Morris gained 559 yards last season on 148 carries and scored 9 touchdowns. Other notes from the NFL now. The Ravens released wide receiver Andre Rison and linebacker Pepper Johnson. They picked up free agent wideout Floyd Turner, who played with the Colts last year. And the Dolphins, well, they said goodbye to tight end Eric Green.
To the NHL now, and despite the Red Wings' disappointing Stanley Cup performance, Coach Scotty Bowman will be back. Today, he signed a one-year contract extension. Now, the 62-year-old Bowman led the Wings to an NHL record 62 wins last year, but they were beaten in the conference finals by the eventual Stanley Cup champion Avalanche. Bowman is the winningest coach in NHL history. It's break time again. More baseball when we return, and that leads to trivia. Which team did Mark Carrion play his first full season with? The answer when we return.
Sports Trivia is brought to you by the Southern California Ford dealer.
You can't beat it out here. The sun, the sand.
And we got trucks. If you can keep the beach safe, you're a good lifeguard.
Physical training is certainly important.
Shoot, I'm a great swimmer.
But you need to have good equipment as well.
Yeah, Ford Rangers.
One of the best pieces of equipment we have.
I like working with the most handsome men in the world.
I really love the Ford Ranger.
They look good. They make us look good.
But right now, I gotta watch the water.
These Ford Rangers come in, they get me there quicker than anything else.
They're really cool.
Math, a four-letter word, right? Hey, you don't need that. Why design the world's newest chips? When you could be flipping the world's oldest burgers. Hey, wait a minute. This is math. Geometry, algebra. No pocket protectors here. But you're cruising without math. Yeah, right. Take a good look. That's math staring back at you. It's not a problem, man. It's an answer. Call NACME. We'll tell you what you need to do.
So where's Alec?
I don't know. It didn't work out. He was too complicated. And he wore alligator loafers.
Since 1873, original Coors in the yellow can.
Alligator loafers?
If you're sick or injured, Major Medical doesn't cover lots of things that touch your family. What they do, what they need, how they get from place to place. Aflac can help. Use Aflac benefits to fill the gaps other insurance doesn't cover. You decide exactly how to use it best. Then, concentrate on what's really important. Just get better.
Give dreams that may have died the power to live. Support the College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Don't know if Mark loves New York, and while his heart may be in San Francisco, his body won't be. Today, the Giants traded Carry-On to Cleveland for reliever Jim Poole and the notorious player to be named later. Carry-On is 33, has driven in 51 runs and smacked 9 homers while batting .260 this year. The Tribe had been looking for some right-handed help off the bench and some insurance for the injured Julio Franco at first base, and they think that they've found it. Carry-On also made a stop in Detroit during his 10-year career and is a lifetime .273 hitter. Poole is a left-handed setup man, is 30 years old, and if he can get one lefty out, that'll help out the Giants.
Okay, we've got plenty more from tonight's 67th All-Star game, so let's send it back out to Alan Massengale in Philly. Alan?
He was a late addition to the All-Star squad, and I'll tell you what, he made the most of it. Third baseman Ken Caminiti of the Padres. Ken, you're still smiling about that home run. You lit it up.
I hit it pretty good. The guys were asking me what the pitch was, and I said I think it was a fastball, and Bish goes, no, it couldn't have been. It was an off-speed pitch. I said, well, you're asking the wrong guy. You know? I just tried to see it and put a swing on it.
6th inning off Roger Pavlik. I understand that you didn't even know where it went. What was going on there?
Well, they asked me where it went, and well, actually, they didn't ask me. I asked somebody where it went because I didn't want to miss first base. I got to that, I had to look down. So they told me it went a long ways.
How does it feel to be here and do what you did tonight?
Well, like I said earlier in there, I was a late addition filling the shoes of Matt Williams, and it's an honor. He's a classy person. He's a good friend. Plus, he's, you know, one of my favorite ball players to watch play. And to fill his shoes, #1, and do what I did, #2, is a great feeling.
Well, good luck to you and the Padres. Maybe in the second half, you guys can get everybody healthy. I know you've been battling through some injuries, and good luck to you, Ken.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ken Caminiti, what a night he had. Up ahead, a special look at a guy who had an incredible night here. Dodgers catcher Mike Piazza. Don't you go away.
Baseball fans everywhere are getting a little extra game time with the new Motorola Sports Tracks. Sports Tracks delivers scores and game status of every Major League game as they're played. It shows team at bat, the inning, number of outs, even the position of base runners. Sports Tracks covers it all with no monthly fees. Every team, every game, every time. Motorola Sports Tracks. Are you fan enough? Available at Radio Shack, Sports Chalet, Pro Image, or call 1-800-PageNet.
All week long on the Learning Channel's Real History. Can you handle weapons of war? The subs packing enough nukes to level a whole country. The bombs smart enough to stupefy anything on the ground. This means war. Watch at your own risk. Weapons of War. Real History. Weeknights at 9 Eastern and Pacific on TLC. Adventures for your mind.
We've blindfolded cab driver Jim Kroll to prove a point.
Where to?
Hotel Royale. Can he tell a difference between Arco gas and the more expensive brands?
Cab's running great. What kind of gas is this?
It's Arco, Jim. On average, Arco costs less than other major brands.
Man, that is smooth running gas. 580. Cheapskates.
Arco, the real difference is the price.
Your barber said, Honda quality and reliability make all the 96 models a sure thing. I'll sit on it, you said. Your chiropractor said, get a Honda. It'll simplify your life. I can wait, you said. Then you seized the moment. The Honda 96 clearance. Your accountant said, very smart. Timing is everything at your Honda dealer.
Back to Veterans Stadium, and as you heard earlier, Mike Piazza hardly knew what to say about being the MVP of the All-Star game here in Philadelphia, not far from his hometown of Norristown. And as luck would have it, our Rick Weinberg spent some time recently with Mike Piazza, who has already, in just 4 years, made baseball history.
To realistically illustrate what Mike Piazza has done in his brief but brilliant Major League career, you have to walk through the doors of the Hall of Fame for a reference point. And still, there are no comparisons. No catcher in baseball history, not Johnny Bench or Yogi Berra, did what Piazza has done. The Dodgers catcher has hit more home runs and has the highest batting average than any Hall of Fame catcher after 3.5 years in the majors. And after hitting a staggering .346 last season, Piazza is leading the National League in batting this season, while continuing to display awesome power and the ability to knock in runs.
I just think maybe a lot of it has to do with my desire or my ability to just try to make contact a lot of the time. And even though I hit for power and I'm expected to hit some home runs and drive in runs on this team, I still consider it important for me not to go up there and try and strike out 150 times a year, not have an all or nothing type of approach. Kind of realize that with 2 strikes, I need to put the ball in play and hopefully let the guys behind me drive me in.
Because of his wondrous ability to hit and his unfortunate tendency to suffer injuries, there are suggestions Piazza should move to first base, especially since the Dodgers win 54% of their games with him in the lineup, only 41% without him. But Piazza has no desire whatsoever to make the switch.
That's the people who employ me. That's their choice. And I can only convey to them my feelings and my emotions on the whole situation, and that is I enjoy catching. I love catching. It's a tremendous challenge for me, not only physically but mentally, and I get tremendous satisfaction out of catching and winning a baseball game, you know, behind the plate. I feel like I've contributed a lot. So again, you know, I'm not going to set the world on fire behind the plate. I know I have some shortcomings behind the plate, but all things considered, I think my value is behind the plate.
Mike's work ethic and determination to succeed are unparalleled. This is a guy who comes from a wealthy family. He could have just coasted. He was a 62nd round draft pick, the 1,390th pick overall, and here he is drawing comparisons to Hall of Famers.
When I was a youngster, I just fell in love with the sport. It's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to become a businessman. I didn't want to, you know, pound the pavement 9 to 5. I fell in love with baseball, and I wanted to play baseball. And you know, at that point in time, obviously, it's a far distant dream. But when I became older and more mature, and I realized that it was potentially something that I could achieve, then I had to kind of put everything off, you know, in my life, put everything else on the back burner and try to achieve that goal. And if I
gone, first 14 decisions. Mark McGwire hit his 30th homer of the year for the A's, and it's the 7th time in his career he's hit at least 30 home runs.
Jason Giambi was 0 for 4 in that game. That'll happen to you. But earlier this season, when he became a close friend of slugging teammate Mark McGwire, no one actually expected him to start hitting like McGwire, too. However, the 25-year-old Giambi has been hot all season, and the former Olympian is having, well, he's one of the main reasons the A's are on a record pace for home runs this year. Rick Weinberg has the story.
Jason Giambi never realized how versatile he was until this season. When Mark McGwire missed the first month with a foot injury, Giambi replaced him at first base. When McGwire returned, third baseman Scott Brocious went out with a broken arm, and there was Giambi playing third base. Then, even though he hadn't played the outfield since his freshman year in college, here he was in unfamiliar territory.
I'm too hyper of a person. I'm too young to DH. And I asked him, I said, you know, can I find a position? I'll play right field or do anything, you know, just to get a spot where I can play. I said, God, just don't embarrass yourself out here.
Jason hasn't come close to embarrassing himself. Amazingly, he has played in the second highest number of games on the team while playing 5 different positions. And all the while, he's been red hot. Giambi entered the weekend hitting .323 with 16 homers and is tied with McGwire with a team-high 60 RBI.
I come to the yard every day knowing that I can get a hit. I've never come to the yard going, I don't know if I'm going to get a hit today. You know, I've always been the opposite, you know, and one of the biggest things, you know, Mark McGwire's really helped me out with that mentally.
He's kind of following in Mac's footsteps. You know, he's kind of learning from Mac, and Mac's taking him under his wing, and so I think he's really helped with Jason's progression.
We hit it off. I mean, we have a lot of likes on the field and a lot of likes off the field, and he's a different hitter than I am, but we have the same attitude. You know, we don't fear anybody when we're in that box.
Giambi with a 2-2 count. A high fly ball, deep right field. This is going to leave the yard. Home run, Giambi.
So how does Giambi explain that with less than 1 year in the majors, he's unflappable at the plate? Well, he's developed his own theory on that, one with a certain feeling, a sexy feeling.
You make me feel so.
Mike Gallego was talking about hitting. This is where it all starts. Mike Gallego was talking about hitting, and he just looks at me and goes, you know, what's your theory of hitting? And all the reporters were around, and that's where it all started. That's where it was all born, right then and there.
Boy, I'll tell you what, this will make him feel sexy. Jason Giambi.
I think that theory of feeling sexy is just feeling confident about yourself. And it's not a cocky confidence. It's a confidence that just, you're sure about yourself.
Giambi's unusual hitting approach has received so much publicity in the Bay Area, he actually cut his own radio spot.
Yes, it's true. I do feel sexy when I'm in a hitting streak. Exactly how sexy depends on the length of the streak. For example, 3-game streaks are Hasselhoffs. 5-game streaks, Baldwins. 8-game streaks, Clooney's. And anything over 10, I'm all Banderas.
I've played with Jason since '92 back in A-ball, and it's been the same thing. He's always felt sexy at the plate.
Being one of the older guys, I'm kind of missing that point here. You know, I'm grasping his key to successful hitting, but you know, whatever works.
And since it's working, Giambi plans on sticking to his unusual philosophy.
Randy and I always feel Banderas sexy at work. Thank you very much. All right, coming up next is out to the courts for the tennis set.
That's right, Monica Seles. Look through France today as this was the 13th step.
The All-Star game is over, and it's the time of year when trade talks heat up. Adding fuel to the fire is our press box insider, Rick Weinberg.
Events such as the All-Star Game in Philadelphia this week give general managers the opportunity to discuss potential trades and moves with their counterparts as well as the media. And many intriguing conversations took place during the 3-day extravaganza.
One of the most interesting has the Phillies going after potential free agent Howard Bell in the offseason. Philadelphia is desperate for power, but Bell told me at the All-Star Game the only way he would consider becoming a Philly is if a commitment was made to build a ballpark comparable to Jacobs Field in Cleveland.
The Baltimore Orioles listened to various offers for disgruntled outfielder Bobby Bonilla. The Indians offered a package that included pitcher Albie Lopez and former Oriole and future Hall of Famer Eddie Murray. But as the talks progressed, Cleveland wanted outfielder Jeffrey Hammonds included in the deal. Even though the Orioles demoted Hammonds and are extremely unhappy with his lack of progress, they don't want to move him unless they're blown away with a proposal that includes a top prospect. The Montreal Expos, who opened the second half of the season with the second-best record in the National League, usually start dumping their high-priced players at this time of the season. Yet since they're convinced they're going to capture the wild card, management is interested in igniting the team by acquiring Phillies catcher Benito Santiago. But Expos outfielder Henry Rodriguez told me one of Montreal manager Felipe Alou's priorities is bolstering his bullpen, which is among the NL leaders in blown saves. Alou would love to grab Reds reliever Jeff Brantley, who recently got into a shouting match with manager Ray Knight after Lee Smith was allowed to close out a game instead of Brantley. One other intriguing trade proposal that had everyone buzzing in Philadelphia was Red Sox pitcher Roger Clemens going to the Angels for outfielder Garrett Anderson. The Red Sox would love to grab Anderson since their outfield is one of the weakest in baseball.
Even though Clemens leads the league in strikeouts, he is 34 years old and is eligible for free agency after the season. One American League GM says the Angels are more interested in Red Sox right-hander Aaron Seeley or one of Boston's top 2 AA pitching prospects, Carl Pavano or Brian Rose. I'm Rick Weinberg, and we'll see you next time with the Press Box Insider.
All right, thanks, Ricky. Time now for a prime performance. We take you back to Atlanta, where John Smoltz was doing everything today. He knocks in Jeff Blauser here. Smoltz with his 9th RBI of the season. That's all he would need. Charles Johnson looking at the fastball.
Again with a 2-out double, and then Lemke delivers the hit. All 6 runs the Braves got last night were with 2 outs. The 4 they got on Monday were with 2 outs, and the 1 tonight.
Lemke, a .240 hitter with runners in scoring position, ups that number. Chipper Jones, second hit back-to-back here in this inning. 2 in the game now for the Braves. They take the 1-0 lead, and Jones takes the pitch outside. Drew that walk in the first inning. Braves as a team 7th in the league in average, hitting .262. They've been productive to go along with that pitching. That one ripped down the line. That's going to be trouble. Bichette in the corner makes a nice cut. Lemke at third base will be held. Jones picks up the double.
So second time through the order, each of the Braves hitters have hits, a double, a single, and a double. And for Don Baylor, with McGriff coming up right now, he's got a tough decision to make. He's got an open base, but he doesn't exactly have chopped liver in behind McGriff. As we look at Chipper Jones's swing, good play by Bichette to keep that ball from going all the way into the corner. And I think Frank Funk's going to come out, the pitching coach of the Rockies, and talk a little situational baseball here with Armando Reynoso. Again, first base open. McGriff has been the hottest hitter in the National League, but David Justice isn't exactly the All-American out in behind him.
And this is the decisions managers and coaches get paid for. 5th double of the season for Chipper Jones. Lemke at third, Jones at second now. 1-0 lead, and Reynoso trying to keep it at that with 2 down. This all coming as a 2-out rally kicked off by Grissom's double when Hubbard almost ended the inning with that spectacular catch.
Kind of a continuation of the 9th inning last night, as the Rockies almost were out of it 3 different times. See the lifetime numbers against Reynoso. Justice is 4 for 13.
Fred McGriff. Outfield deep, 2 on. And the strike on the outside corner. One up around the letters. On the outside part of the plate, strike 1. He is a good hitter in every circumstance. .333 with runners in scoring position this year for him. He's got a chance for a couple of RBIs with a base hit here. Reynoso with the 0-1 delivery to him. Same play.